Those who have been watching some of the films that I've been making in my new small dojo, I'm trying to make them more in the podcast way, so that you can listen to them rather than just watch my face talking away. And I've named some of them just chit-chat, because I find that's my best way of talking sometimes, just not rehearsing anything, but just saying what I think, what I feel at the time. Here in the UK, I would be known as a very blunt person. But in the USA, when I get comments, they say you're a very candid person. So, obviously it meaning the same. I try to say what I think. I don't wish to hurt anyone. It's just that the way I was brought up as a child, I decided that why should I, perhaps rebelling, why should I say what people want to hear? I mean, you can play that game, and most people are playing it for their whole life. Agreeing with other people, thinking before they speak. I've been told many times when I've upset people on the tatami by other senior teachers, my own rank, Tony, you shouldn't have said that. The problem is, by not speaking honestly and truthfully as it comes from you, it's as if you can't fit in. And fitting in seems to be the whole process of the people on this planet. I used to teach 3 times a year in Russia, and now, because of the dictatorship wanting to make a new world order, in my lifetime I don't think I should be going back there ever again to teach. I still love my students. They're normal human beings, and out of the 7 continents I've travelled, the 5 continents I've been into, we are all, even though it's different languages, speaking the same, thinking the same, and desiring the same. It's only those stupid dictatorships that seem to want to rule all those beneath them. I say beneath because they hold the power, not that anybody should be beneath anyone. Anyhow, this is not a party political broadcast to you. It's really talking about something I've recently read from Shihan Hua Nguyen's, and I agree 100%. You may not have seen it yet. It's on the Davis website, posted on the 3rd of October 2023. I urge all teachers to read this, think about it, because I read it and I agreed 100% with his words and what he thinks needs to be within a good Aikidoka, from a beginner all the way through to teachers. What I don't agree with is that it can be achieved. The minority of people doing Aikido in the world today are not what him and I trained under and the way we trained. to me this can never be brought back. So his dreams, in my opinion, are wonderful thoughts, but can never be achieved. I'd like to go into some reasons why, perhaps in this film or in others that I will talk on this subject about. Travelling in these 5 continents, what I've found is the people doing Aikido in the way that he would like, where you get the student absolutely immersed, dedicated into the art. They want to do everything. So you train their body to what I would consider almost Olympic level. You know, the fitness, the flexibility, stamina, every part of a human body's cardiovascular and their whole being must be tuned and toned far beyond what anybody could ever imagine one could get to. They normally train up to 6 times a week in Russia, and this is going back when I first went there in the early 90s, just after the end of the Cold War, when they started to want the things that at the moment they're saying, or I'm saying that the government is saying the West is evil, the West is bad. And yet, over 10 years of going there when they had nothing of the West, where along the road you would be looking in a car, you'd be in a larder yourself, Russian made, Russian built, and there would be 9 larders and different various Russian cars, Moscovich, other sedans. And you perhaps would see one Volvo or one BMW every making the 10th one. 10 years on from that, the odd one out, what's the 9th car, will possibly be the Lada. They'll range from Japanese cars to every continent across the world that makes cars. And when I spoke to them about the modernisation, they love the multiplex cinemas, the Pizza Hut, the McDonald's, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And when you go to these places, it's full of young families and young people. I'm trying to give you a picture of every time I hear now on the news, the West is evil, the West is bad, the actual Russian people embrace the West's way of living because it means that they have freedoms, they have money in their pocket. Now this is talking about Aikido, so I'm giving you a sort of a talking of what I found then and now, and why I say that we can't go back in time to the desires and hopes that Juan Nguyen's Shihan is writing about. I will get lots of criticism, I'm sure, from those around the world about what I'm saying, but I'm telling you it from my heart and what I genuinely think. I built this dojo, and it's because I used to have a large dojo, what would hold 40 people. Now this dojo will hold 10 at the outside, possibly 6 comfortably, 8 with a squeeze, 10 when we're looking at detail or giving a lecture. It's not me that needed the small dojo. It's the times that we've come to where there's not enough students to build a large dojo or to run a large dojo in the UK. Over the last 20, 30 years, the decline in Aikido in the UK especially, and I think around the world in what I'm going to say the Western democracies, where they've got all the things that I was telling you that now the Russians have got, or did have. The world has changed and it's become a strange place. And I'd like you to consider that, what I've said here, and I will continue it in another film. But why I have to make short films is the same reason why we don't have Aikidoka dedicated as we did in the past. And that is because nobody has time, nobody wants to listen to a long, drawn-out talk by me. When I post something on Facebook, let's say I post a 15-minute film, or in this case, podcast, I will get likes coming back within 2 to 3 minutes, as if somebody's firing them from a machine gun. They don't even have time to have seen the film if it's 15 minutes long, and yet they're liking it. So this is the world that we're now contending with. So how will we ever go back to having devoted Aikidoka who really do want to find those senses Aikido? Not just the technical, not the spiritual, not the dancing styles, not the hard eat rocks style, not MMA, thinking about taking them on with Aikido. To me, Aikido is lost and will be lost forever in the democratic world because other things have taken place. I hope so far you're at least thinking about what I'm saying, even if not enjoying it, and I will continue it in the next film.